Let's look at the time. Okay, so I got a little tiny clock just for my tiny little house. Isn't it cute? No? Isn't it? A little bit? Just... Okay. Anyway, this one is gonna work. Let's talk about that topic. Yep. Oh, this topic. This is the topic. Okay. Being single as anything has its pros and cons. But before I begin talking about the topic of being single and living tiny, I want to cover a couple comments and sort of state them for a moment. Darn topic. So I only want to address this because I've noticed in my comments on Instagram, I see people, or even when I tell people, a lot of people's reaction are, if I were young and single like you, I would have a tiny home. Man, if I thought about doing that, but I really want to have kids and want to have a dog, I would definitely have a tiny home. If I weren't married or didn't have kids, I would have a tiny home. You know, if I continue staying single and I'm single in my 40s, then you best believe I'm gonna get my tiny home. One common trait that I keep seeing in this particular comment back from people, and it's people equate being single to having a tiny home. I am single and I have a tiny home, but that does not mean because I am single that I have a tiny home. I want to clarify a couple things. There are people that are living the tiny house and van lifer dream or lifestyle because they wanted to. It's more the willingness and the commitment that a person has, regardless whether they are single, whether they are married, whether they have kids, 10 pigs, or chickens. I am the small percentage of single women living in a tiny home. It does not make my living tiny any easier than a couple or than a couple with a family would. As all tiny homeowners, we all go through the same challenges and struggles, and some go through them a little bit worse than others. There are pros and cons as to anything that anyone has. There's pros and cons to being in a relationship just as much as there's pros and cons being single. And my being single does not dictate living in a tiny home. Notice a lot of people also equate, oh, well, when I'm retired, or oh, when I'm this, when I'm that, when I'm in my 60s, or when I'm in my 40s and I'm still single, and I hate how society has made us feel old at a young age of 30. Yes, I am countercultured because I want to live a better, healthier, more sustainable lifestyle for the future generations, including my own, that right now, that's not what Americans think. The American lifestyle is the bigger the better. The more bling, the more money, the bigger the car, the happier you will be, and that's not necessarily true. My point is I understand what it's like to feel that pressure from society and questioning, am I really doing the right thing? But at the end of it, no one is living your life. You are. No one is living my life except me. And this is what works. I want women to feel as though they can conquer anything, including this lifestyle. As you can see, there are not many people that do this alone, and there's good reason for that. One of the things that I learned that you really need another human being for is hitching the house to a truck. You can't do that by yourself, and please send over the person that you know that can hitch a house to the back of a truck. You know the person, please tell me. So there are certain things that you really need someone for, and that's one of them. The main goal is to move the house everywhere, and not having that and doing that alone, that's a challenge. I have to say that that is one of the biggest of crap. I'm gonna need someone to help me hitch my house no matter what state I'm in, no matter where I'm at. Things like that. Being single, not that great. This has made me grow into a much more resilient person, a much more person to tackle many things, because there are certain things that this lifestyle attains that it's not as easy to tackle alone than if I were to have a partner. Again, and I'm going to keep reiterating this after every episode, is to inspire you to figure out what works best for you. Really figure it out, really hone in on it. Whether it be a tiny house, whether it be a condominium, whether it be a small little hut over in Jamaica, go for it. If I can do it, and I'm doing it alone, and I'm doing it with no help, then you can figure out what works best for you. Tiny home living is a lifestyle that you've been wanting to try out and that you really, really feel like it would work best. Believe me, if I can do it, so can you. And if you have the help, whether it be a big family, a small family, or you can achieve it. It's just a matter of willingness and determination of commitment to try it. Stay tuned and subscribe. See you guys next time.